Japanese humanoid robots, if you could program them to perform certain functions, would actually be a huge benefit. They could constantly attend to an old person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. They would never get tired. They would never accidentally fall asleep while they're on duty. It just would not happen. So it would be a positive thing. It's a new kind of thought. I've never heard of anybody else say get robots to care for old people, but to me, I'm kind of thinking it's something that makes sense. The monthly cost of a robot to take care of an elderly person, if you could program it to perform the functions necessary to care for an elderly person, which I believe you could, it would be, I believe, probably very affordable. Robots produced in factories and mass produced, I'm sure the monthly cost of one would probably be less than a car. Probably the most expensive part about the robots would be the programming, the software that would go in them. If you went to a website, like I said, Google, type in Japanese humanoid robots, and if you look down through all the stuff, you'll realize that it's incredible that these robots are actually advancing in leaps and bounds. When the robots the United States makes looks like just machines, but the robots that are being currently made in Japan, they look like people. There's a huge difference. It's amazing. Let me check the time on this. I'm at 10 minutes already. Jesus. Okay, I'm at 10 minutes already. I think that a robot could do a lot of different things. I wrote down what they could do, and I'm going to try and go through the list as fast as possible. You would have to use your imagination, and what I say here, you'd have to think about it a little bit, but I think it could actually be done. The programming would probably take a lot to do all the little things involved. Keep an eye on the patient all the time and could visually and verbally record everything. Help feed the person. A robot, that's just an arm movement of scooping up food and holding it up to their mouth for the very feeble elderly people. A robot around the house. Let me see. There's so much to this talk. I didn't want it to take this long. I'm already way over what I was wanting. But anyway, so the idea that I'm thinking is keep the elderly in their own houses as long as possible and have the government rent helper robots, humanoid robots from Japan, to the individual retired person for an affordable monthly price. Okay, now we're going to get down again, like I was saying, what these robots could probably do. If they're in the home with the individual, maybe they could even be in nursing homes, I don't know, and help the costs come down. But help feed people, make sure the stove is off and the iron is unplugged if it's in the home. Help them walk around the home and fetch items for the person. Accompany them on walks outdoors. I'm sure a lot of older people would go outdoors and walk around more if they felt they were kind of, if they could lean against someone to help them walk a little bit. I think they might be more encouraged to go out and get some exercise. It would be good for them, not only mentally but physically. In the future, a humanoid could possibly even drive the car for the elderly person and keep up their mobility and therefore their dignity. Could give a foot rub or a back rub to them. A lot of old people, your muscles hurt, nobody there to help rub your back. Fetch the mail or newspaper. Could visually scan medicines to make sure patient was taking the proper medicine. Could give the patient the proper medicine at the proper time and visually record that it was actually being taken. That would be very good. Because I'm sure a lot of people forget to take their medicine, and then if they don't take their medicine, that could have a severe effect on them. For diabetics, I didn't think of that. For diabetics, they could remind them when they need to check their blood sugar so that they don't forget. And then they could actually help record what the blood sugar level was and make sure they were giving them the right. I really think this can be done. The software would have to be rather advanced, but if you start today, you could probably get somewhere with it. Could help, could keep homeowner company and provide at least basic companionship. I'm sure some people would consider it to be the absolute lowest form of companionship, but I don't know, it's probably better than sitting there by you lonesome all the time. Call for help if patient falls or is unresponsive or has a fever. Could help bathe the patient and change diapers. That's actually a lot of things to do. And because in the healthcare field, everything's getting so expensive. Hospitals are incredibly expensive. A surgery is phenomenally expensive. But nursing homes are a fact. And getting old is a fact. It can't be avoided. So then it becomes, how do you afford to live at the highest level of dignity and mobility as long as possible till, well, when you kick the bucket. So something's got to be done. You can't afford to constantly pay the amount that nursing homes are charging. It can't be done. It will destroy the country. If you could get something like this, people can stay at home and get robots to help them. You could save a lot of money, because what Medicare and Medicaid, the government collects is everybody's taxes. It goes into the general fund. Then monies flow to Medicare and Medicaid, which flows to nursing home facilities. A lot of that money. So if nursing home facilities are forced to become nonprofits, everybody saves a lot of money. And if in a lot of cases you can keep the elderly in their own homes with helper robots, that'll save a huge amount of money. Not only for the individual that's retired, but for the family involved, especially if the person, maybe they have Alzheimer's. In that case, if a person has Alzheimer's, you might need to have 2 or 3 robots helping take care of that person. Anyway, it's an idea, it's an option, it's a possibility, but it has to be looked into. Thank you. God, this is long.